also taken my book and I've developed a leader's guide or a group study guide for that. So if you go out to my website, theblueprintofbecoming.com, you can actually go out there and download a study guide that will go along with my book. And it takes my book and turns it into a unique study groups.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. Today, I have a very special guest for round two. Can you go ahead and address to my audience who you are, just a little bit about yourself?
I'm Saibjit Singh, but I go by TJ. It's just a lot easier to say. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I focus on depth work, which is more about core beliefs, core wounds, really getting to the root cause of like problems that are really like people are facing. Like you may say you're depressed, but really comes down to a deeper pain that you never really got to like resolve growing up or dealt with. That's what I would say.
In your profile, you speak about political therapy. What is that, and how, and is it not an issue to speak about it in politics? Probably therapy. And are there concerns about speaking about politics with clients, and how could that influence you on how you see them?
So this is something that I've been kind of, noticing more and more in today's world as well. People are being more and more affected by politics around them, about beliefs about family members and their differing beliefs around how people should govern. People say, hey, there's two beliefs that should never be discussed: politics and religion. I, as someone who works with core beliefs, says, well, why not? Humans are shaped by everything around us. Politics does shape us. Religion and what we believe shapes us. However, when those things shape us and the messages we get from them really distorts our ability to live and function, that makes it harder. You want to, like, political therapy isn't this idea that I'm going to challenge and debate you. I'm not going to share my politics at all. I want to understand and connect to why you have that belief, what stems from it. When you, like, there is a series on Jubilee called like Surrounded, and a lot of people on that show will talk about their political beliefs, but from this is my experience of it. This is my subjective experience of it. Therefore, this makes sense to me. Okay, why? Why did that experience give you this interpretation of the world? When you saw this, why did you see it only like this? I try to help people understand and build insights to where that belief comes from. Our beliefs are very strongly tied to our identities. It shapes how we see ourselves, the world, and other people around us. So if a political belief is affecting your ability to connect with the world, connect with others and yourself, then yeah, let's discuss it. I'm gonna come to you not because people will assume, oh, you're Indian, you're a person of color, you're probably liberal, conservative, or whatever. Maybe, maybe not. I don't need to tell you that. I'm your therapist. I'm here for you. I want to understand, why do you have that? Because I'm coming from curiosity and empathy.
Do you feel like everybody needs to overall look at politics from a whole round point of view instead of a one-way view based on what they get from the media?
It's easy to say yes, but it's harder to say it's easier for me to say I wish. The harder answer is, yeah, they should, but that's not how people work. It's hard to imagine, like I was discussing this with a client around just like his own belief systems and stuff like that. And he's like, well, TJ, like it's not happening to you in the moment. It's not around your vicinity. If it's not happening to me in my environment, probably it's not happening at all. That's how our brains take it. Remember, the brain's here to keep you alive. It's not here to make you happy. So if it says, this is my world, then you're going to be like, yep, this is my world. Humans are naturally, we're very tribal mentality. It's okay. That's not a bad thing, but it's an acceptance of, when I see community, I just see about 100 to 150 people that I can remember. Someone in a different country, all the way out there that I'm only seeing through a video, there's a lack of in person, a lack of realness of this is happening.
I have to admit, when I was at the Chamber of Commerce in Santa Maria, it felt good connecting with live people versus me always live and not being able to experience that view. But was I nervous? Hell yes. So
Mhm.
tell me, how can people either like me or a little worse off than me, where they have agoraphobia or whatever the case may be, how can they recover and start feeling like the world is for them instead of against them?
So looking at it through like different issues and everything, how do you recover from, experiences that have put a fear in you? Well, first, you have to name it. There's power in naming something. When you don't know something, like let's say you're told that you might have a medical condition, the fear of not knowing what it could be scares us more than having the name of it. Oh, it is this like this condition. That helps me. That means I know now what I can do with it. So the first part is name it, accept that it's happening. A lot of like some of the guys I work with, there's this fear of naming that it's scary to be vulnerable. Why? Are you not human? Because you are. If you're human, that means you feel scared, you feel angry, you feel hungry, you feel all these things. By naming it, you're allowing yourself to say, okay, now I can deal with this. But by avoiding it and pretending it doesn't exist, it just keeps you stuck in that fear. Naming something helps you face it. And then sitting in that feeling, sitting in that fear and saying, this sucks and it's okay. People are afraid of contradictions. If my parents that love me also hurt me, that confuses me. So I'm going to internalize it and say there's something wrong with me then. No, humans can both be scary and loving. It's that understanding that you can have both. One of my favorite commercials growing up was like there was a girl, they were trying to figure out whether to use a hard shell taco or a soft shell taco. And the girl goes, why not both? Why not both? Why could it not be both? Why can't you not love your parents and sometimes not like them? I love my mom. I do. I love her to death. But man, I cannot stand more than 5 minutes on a conversation with her because I love her and sometimes I don't like her. That's okay. It's learning to be okay with contradictions. World is full of contradictions. Once we learn to accept that, it's easier to remove and deal with deeper emotions. Vulnerability can be scary and a strength. It doesn't mean you're always weak. It also means you're strong. That's one thing I really implement in the clients I work with is it's okay to be vulnerable. I'm not going to see you in any other way. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah. So basically, contradicting, and what I want to summarize is the unknown. People are afraid of the unknown. And so we stay comfortable within our spots. So, how do we reach uncomfortable, like being uncomfortable? Like, for instance, if you're not a public speaker and you want to become one, but you are introvert instead of extrovert, and you want to be an omnivert, basically 50-50, how would you get there?
One thing a lot of my clients hate is homework assignments. I get it. I don't like assignments either. I don't like worksheets. I really don't try to give those. However, there's a reason why therapists give like the most superficial like interventions and skills. You got to start somewhere. You got to start with the basics. The basics are boring. It's me having you journal. It's me having you connect and do things that are like, oh, I need you to track your mood once a day. I need you to do this, but that's boring. I just want to get to the deeper stuff. How are you going to get to it and not collapse from overwhelming emotions that are there? That's why the skills are there. It's repetition and consistency. I always tell people this: actions speak louder than words, but consistency ties it all together. You have to be consistent in the action. Your brain, you do it one time, that's not change. That's quick. It's like a moment, but then you're going to go right back to what you were doing. Consistent change is choosing to do something different each day until your brain goes, okay, this is a new thing, and we're going to stick with it now. What you help your brain adapt to a new habit, but it takes 1% a day, repetition, doing it over and over and over until it's like second nature. I learned how to communicate and like practice the things I do because it was built in me. I practice every single day. That's why communication has become easier for me, because I am consistently doing it. It's like second nature now. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, and do you are you pro medicine or against anti-medicine?
I have seen both sides from both my clients and both working in systems that provide medication. Medication, I've always seen it as being more of something to stabilize you. When you're deeply in no motivation, deep depression, no matter what therapy you get, it ain't going to help because you're too deep in it. The medication is going to help stabilize you to like a baseline, even with the side effects. So the therapy can do the work, and eventually you can get off the medication because now you have the skills while you're stable, but you're not going to have to be able to build those skills when nothing matters and everything is pointless. You're so deeply locked in that anxiety or those issues or whatever symptoms you're experiencing. Medication stabilizes, therapy provides the tools to help you not need the medication as much anymore. Not for all of them. I'm not saying everything, but I'm saying most of the times that's what the goal is. That's why as a therapist, I really want to work with psychiatrists or others that provide the medication, and I can, collaborate with them. If you don't collaborate with them, then you don't know what's going on. Medication can be beneficial, but it also comes with harm. It's everything
Do,
comes with cost.
do you feel like chemical engineering or technology mix will be the future of mental health without leaving the social workers and the therapists behind, but collaborating?
I would say I would like a world where, medication plays a role and people do want to do therapy. However, one thing I'm starting to notice is people want a fast answer. They want the fast food answers to stuff. Therapy is tedious, it's gradual, it's slow. I have to build rapport with you. I only see you once a week for an hour. That's not enough time. And it's like, it's going to take small cracks each time you see me. Medicate, but people are like, no, I want it now. I just give me what I need to do. Like my partner is a physical therapist. A lot of what do I need to do to just heal this now? You're gonna have to do those exercises. Is there anything faster? No, there's not. It takes time, it takes effort. People want the fast answer, and sometimes I get it. Look, I'm not saying I don't want a fast answer. I'm human too. I sometimes just want a McDonald's burger, then cook. But the real work requires time. It requires boring sessions. It requires tediousness, because sometimes that journey, while it feels long, you got to remember it's sometimes about the destination where you're going to end up afterwards. That should be the hope that keeps you going in that boring stuff. That's what I'm saying. Do I see it? Yeah. I kind of see a world where people want faster answers, and I can see it's heading towards there. I wouldn't like that. Humans, I mean, will do human things, if that makes sense.
It does. Well said. You know, the funny thing or the scary thing is that if we don't try to upgrade ourselves or be a better copy of ourselves, it's like we're going to lose the race because there's so many sick people that have been exacerbated by like possible red dye foods, children. And so I say to myself, and they end up with anxiety and weird symptoms. So what I want to know is, as scary as it is, do you see social work and therapy being a tool for possible misuse and abuse in like now, like with what you've seen over the course of the years you've been in the LMFT as a therapist? Do you see any type of gross misconduct, and how do you address that as wearing your LMFT hat?
One thing I've learned about being a therapist, and one thing that I've always hold, is power dynamics. You're coming to me and you're giving me your deepest, darkest pains. You're giving me things that you wouldn't tell other people. It creates a power dynamic. I know you don't know much about me, but I know so much about you. People are vulnerable. People want to connect. People put their own like needs and wants onto me to be that person to provide it. I'm always have to be cognizant. And there's moments where it's like, I want myself to want something, but I got to step back. One thing that we are hold to is this code of ethics about understanding what power and how our jobs and the careers and the being a therapist comes with, the pros and the cons, that you have this like privilege to hear this person's story and this power over them because of it, and you always need to be cognizant of it. My biggest thing is always holding those strong boundaries. Like when I sit in like my chair and I'm in an in-person session, there's an invisible boundary. I sit here, you sit there. I don't go near you because there's that boundary. I'm giving you that space to whatever you need, but I'm here, right here in the side, because I need you to feel comfortable and safe and know that I'm not going to use the power dynamics to manipulate you. Have I seen it from other therapists? Sadly, yeah. You also hear news medias about it. There was therapists who tell people, I know how to cure your issues. They come off like this preacher. No, man. Like for me, therapy is about transformative work for the individual. It's your therapy, ain't my therapy. Like I'm here to help you. So let's make it about you. Let's hear about it. I will share you my perspectives, my lived experiences, my clinical knowledge. But what you do with that, that's up to you. I can't tell you what to do. I don't offer advice. I don't like being told what to do. Why would I tell someone else what to do? So I offer suggestions. Here's a recommendation. That kind of thing.
You know, as a young Sigmund Freud or Pavlov, I called you that. I wanted to know, what psychiatrists did you enjoy learning about the most? And what was the therapy that they use? And how do you incorporate that in your work?
It's interesting. The therapists, psychiatrists, the people that really worked in like the therapy field that really, founded a lot of the uses we use, it would have to be Freud with like a star on it because he had some issues, but his work in talk therapy was like groundbreaking. And then Jungian, who was all about the unconscious stuff, really getting into like what are we doing that we're not even realizing we're doing. And then Carl Rogers of humanistic empathy and compassion and positive, like unconditional positive regard. Like when I sit with someone, the first thing I see is a human. I don't see anything else, because that's what, if I was in their seat, that's what I would want. Don't see me for my issues. Don't see me for my identities. Just see me as another person that's struggling. And I just need some support. We all make mistakes. We all can do bad things. I don't believe in a bad person. I believe in bad actions. And that eventually becomes your identity. Your actions will define your identity because that's what's going to be based on. That's what separates behavior and thoughts and feelings. You can sit with your feelings. You can sit with your like thoughts, but the moment you act, you affect the things around you. And if you let your anger or this trauma or whatever decide your actions, well, you're also telling people who you are then. That you're allowing trauma to define for you. I don't know. I just don't see it making sense. So for me, I'm always watching and seeing myself. That's what I teach my clients. Action.
Well, well said. Do you think, or what do you think, based on the foundation of psychology, is lacking right now, whether medication, therapy, or newer therapies, or older third generations therapy?
Therapy is unique in this kind of in like the health field. What therapy needs, and I'm seeing a lack of, is learning how to be relational, learning how to be human in the room with another human. I think that therapists have to practice like, don't talk about yourself, don't say anything about you, be careful what you say. No, I don't hold all of that. I think you should be careful in what you say and consider the power dynamics and what your words could influence, but still be you. I share like with my clients that are dealing with like deep trauma or around like relationship with you. Hey, I've been in a codependent relationship. I've been in a toxic relationship. Here's my perspective, but I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not trying to make it about me, but here's your issue. I went through something similar. I can relate to the emotion of that experience, that guilt, the sadness, the codependency. I've been there. I'm not saying I share the same experience. I'm saying I felt the similar emotions. Emotions are universal. So for me, it's people like therapists and stuff forget to be human in the room. I don't want to talk to an AI. I don't want to talk to a robot. I don't want to talk to a blank slate. I want to talk to someone that can go, yeah, dude, that sucks. I've been there. Like, they're human. Get what I mean? One thing my clients told me, because I always ask for feedback on like, what am I doing, how I am. TJ, we like you because you're flawed. Because you make me feel okay to be, not perfect. And that's what I want people to understand. Perfection, who defines perfection? Society. And society doesn't always do the right things. People are imperfect. That's okay. We are all works in progress until the day we die. We're always going to work on ourselves, always going to grow, always change. I worked with a 70-year-old who's still learning about his own emotions. No matter how old you are, you're still learning. The idea of being perfect, well, if you're perfect, then what do you need to change or grow? That's impossible. We are always changing and growing. You have to help people understand it's okay to be flawed. And that's what it's forgetting. People are now putting on, hi, welcome to therapy. Let's talk about this survey I have for you. No, I walk in and say, hey, what's been going on? I feel like a pseudo friendship almost, because I do deeply care about these people. They're my clients, and they will always hold that title of client, not friend. But does it not feel like I'm just talking to another person? Yeah. And that's what helps change and growth. It's just being human to a human. But people forget that because humans are scary.
Where do you see yourself being a therapist, a licensed therapist? That's a big thing. Going 20 to 40 years from now, how do you plan on expanding, whether you're still at the same place, but expanding with technology, or you're still at the same place, writing books or getting out to the audience about your theories and your practices of things? What would you do for the future?
A lot of people in my field, a lot of them try to like write books and try to get their message across, share their wisdom. I don't know. I wanted that for a long time myself, but I felt like I wasn't doing it for the right reason. I wanted to feel special. I think we all want to feel like we're important, that we matter, that we're the main characters, because otherwise, what's the point of it all if we're not the main character? And I'm human too. I wanted the same thing. Over time, though, I realized, okay, I write this book. I'm like well known. Do I still feel special? No, because it's the relationships around us and people make us feel special. It's for me, I think all I want to do is just kind of like keep being a therapist. I love what I do. I don't see it as a job. I see it as just a hobby and a passion. And for me, I want to open up a nonprofit one day. I often change my mind a lot, but this thing has really stuck in me. I see the world getting, harder for people in different ways. And sometimes to just have a place you can go where there's just support, it's just connections, a place where when everything else is on fire, here's a place that has grass and water. And it's just a way to get away from it all. Yeah. I call it branches of support, a place that, connects to different communities and adapts to what those communities need and helps people reconnect with their cultural identity. A place where you can go get mental health, get physical therapy, get different forms. I mean, I wanted to also be an animal sanctuary. Like for me, I'm a bleeding heart for animals. I want it to be so much, but I just want a place, because I know what's it like to not have anybody or not have any system support you, to feel like you have to be self-reliant on yourself. But I'm going to tell you, hyper-independence, self-reliance is good and also exhausting. We need others.
I agree.
And so for me, that's my goal is to, this is my last thing I'll say about it.
Go ahead.
There's a story I really love. that I got told in high school about a child throwing starfish into the ocean. And this old man sees this kid throwing starfishes into the ocean. He runs up to the kid and goes, "What are you doing? That's pointless. It doesn't matter. That's just one starfish. There's a million on this beach. You're not going to make a difference." He throws the starfish into the ocean and he says, "You get a difference for that one." And
I love that.
that's what I do in my job. I get to really make a difference. Sometimes it doesn't feel like I am, but when you see it, it makes you really reconnect with your humanity. That's what I would say.
You know, I feel like, very, very well said. I feel like it's your decision, and I've listened to you. I just feel like you have so much to offer the world. I've interviewed a lot of people, and each one has a different story. Your story, you know, you shared, and it's touching as well as everybody else's, but you're sharing knowledge too, you know, and I appreciate that. And I feel like your story should be in a newspaper or something, but that, just keep that on as a back unconscious thought. Until then, how could the people, if they wanted a therapeutic session with you, reach you?
Yeah, you guys can reach me at my website, Support Spirit Counseling and Therapy. You can reach me through my like email, and Kimberly, I'll give you all that information. To be honest, like anyone can reach out to me. I love doing sessions. I offer a free 45-minute like video or in-person consultation where if you have like one issue you want to just talk about and need someone to listen, like, yo, you got me. I love talking to people. I'm an introvert, but when I get to be in a room with one person, I want them to feel seen, be given, and be heard. It's hard in this world. It feels like you're all carrying all this weight alone. I've been there. It sucks. Let me help you out here so you don't have to carry it all your own. Let me be that support. Like, that's why I call myself a support spirit. That's why my counseling office is called Support Spirit Counseling. When I worked with kids, I used to tell them, I'm like a support spirit. I can't do the work for you, but I will guide you. I will be there for you. I will be as much as I can, but you have to do the work. You have to go through the fire. But I will support you. And when you're doing better, I fade away because you don't need me as much anymore. And people hear therapist, they hear clinical, they hear, oh, I got problems. When they hear support spirit, it's like, hey, I just need some support. That's good enough. Let me be that for you. You don't always have to go to therapy for the deepest, biggest problems. Sometimes you just want to complain, and that's okay with me. Because trust me, I always want to complain. That's what I'm saying, and that's how people can reach me. It's like if you just want like to learn more or understand, reach out. I'm always happy for a conversation. That's why I do what I do.
If you had to tweak any one, just one, for under 2 minutes, a psychologist, any psychiatrist or psychologist, in under 3 minutes, who would it be and why?
All right, tweet or talk to?
Well, if you had to tweak something, like for instance, Sigmund Freud, his psychosexual stages. If you had to tweak, you know, or whatever other stages of Carl Rogers or whoever, you know, one person, what would it be? One subject and one answer.
So I would actually look at the whole Western view of therapy. I think we are becoming more like a very diverse group of like different cultures and stuff, but people forget Western therapy is all about the self. It's about individual. Not everybody thinks individually. It's this idea that no, Indian culture, Asian culture, a lot of culture focus on family. Family is number one. People like, no, it's all about you. It's only about where folks. No, you have to consider the family dynamics. What were they raised in? Who are their family members? Kids are taught in Indian culture, you don't talk to strangers about your problems. That's a family thing. Because for them, family is number one over myself. You have to consider that. But Western culture focuses so much on just the individual and doesn't sometimes consider what families can affect them or how they see themselves in relation to their family, and saying, no, you're just your own separate. No, a lot of people are really tied to their families, like identities. You live for your family, you do things for your family. It's hard to separate that. So you have to be understanding. Western, like, that's why I incorporate Eastern like philosophy, like dualism and a lot of like the Buddhism, because they show that you can learn from both. It's I always tell people is that our sim was it our differences make us unique, our similarities brings us together. If you look at differences as bad instead of what I can learn about the differences, then yes, I take in everything, even the things I don't agree with, because maybe it'll change my perspective on something I'm not understanding. That's what I'm saying. Like Western like therapy has become so much about self and the individual and forgets that people are collective too. We also want to be a part of a group. We also want to feel accepted in a group. It's important. And the last piece, this is the big one. We have to be willing to challenge our clients. We have to be willing to call them out and say, hey, I hear you. I'm validating that emotion, but you can't keep doing the same behavior and expecting different results. Like my client, I had a client who was very much like, no, TJ, I'm happy with my life. My life is great. I'm doing great. Dude, your wife wants to leave you. Your kids are pessimistic. You're telling me, and you are unhappy. You are consistently crying in bed. And you're gonna sit here and tell me you're happy? Okay, if that's how you want to see it, that's fine. That's you. But come on, man. Like look around, like really calling things out and saying you have to now sit with what I've just said. I want you to get mad at me because if I'm pissing you off, something tells me it's hurting something deep then. If I touch a core nerve, why am I touching a core nerve? What's going on there? Curiosity and empathy on why. That's what I'm saying. Challenge with empathy and curiosity. Have them sit. But people are too scared. I want my client to like me. I want people to like me. I don't care. I'm here to help you. I'm here to transform you. That's it.
Well said. Thank you so much, Jay. I see around 3 because we must scratch. This is just scratching the surface. So stay on the line. Thank you, everybody, for joining my show. I'll see you guys another time. Bye. You did great, TJ.